Hey traders, welcome to this trade recap from today, the 18th of January. First and foremost, excuse my voice, I'm having a cold. Let's get straight into it. So today, started off the day looking at the chart, really not expecting much on the euro dollar. Quickly show you, because of course TradingView does not support showing the status of the daily candle at a point where you are at the 15 minutes. So this is what we started looking at in the morning for the New York session. So as we can see, during London and Asian, we already took out both the high and the low of the previous day. So I was really not expecting that much, but we found a trade anyway. So yeah, what I was focused on and waiting for was some clear liquidity that was built up on either the 15-minute or the lower time frames that got taken out, and then an impulsive move to either side, creating a decent imbalance to then target the high or the low, or the high or the low being swept. So if we go to the 15 minutes, right now we are 15 minutes before the New York Open. So as you can see, this was the move. So in Asian, we took out the low of the previous day. Here, we swept that, and then during London, we swept the high. That's why I was really not expecting much, but I was of course still watching the price. So I put some alerts. The first alert I put was on the high over here. So let's call this a daily high, and then of course we had the daily low, which was right here, because of course we need to count it from after New York midnight. Daily low. All right, and then the London session started, and then I noticed this candle, and I noticed that we were starting to really near that high. So I moved over to my 5-minute chart, and we then took out that high. And at that point, my alert pinged, and I was interested. I was watching the market. So I then went down to the 1-minute chart and waited for that displacement where I could possibly take an entry for short. If we identify what's on the chart, we have that low that we can target as liquidity, but there is something pretty interesting as well. I would say go to the 4-hour, but then you already get the picture of what happened. So let's go to the 15-minute. So what do we see here? What can we target? Well, we have a couple of targets that we can put in our minds. So the first one is this fair value gap here that never really got filled. And then we have another big one right here. So these could be potential targets. And then it's up to the risk to reward that we get to see if these are actually interesting targets. The main target that I was watching today, this low, because I thought we could sweep this. Thought that there was, I mean, it's a pretty logical level, right? People who went long here probably have their stops below this level, because this is clearly a swing level. So if I were long here, I would probably put my stop somewhere over here and thinking if we break this low, I'm no longer interested. It was my idea. So that's where my sell side liquidity was at. So let's play the 1 minute with these targets in mind. We sweep those highs once again. Then we have a clean bid of displacement. So what I did is I noticed this, and I also noticed that we actually broke this low right here. So we have our market structure shift, right? That's when I decided to put my short order here, and my stop would be pretty tight and would be that. And then my target, I would go for this, and then my partial would be here. That was my initial idea. But as we can see, we popped down really aggressively, never really filled that order. Doesn't make it less interesting to take potential shorts here. So then I saw this candle, and we got a new fair value gap confirmed. What I did is I smacked on an order, I market filled on this, and I basically covered this high right here. And why not this high? Well, as you can see, we still have that fair value gap where we initially wanted to enter, right? We can expect this one to either be tapped into or just rush through and we tap into this order block. So that's what I was kind of anticipating. And I was thinking about a potential scaling at this level if we were to return. And now, of course, for targets, it's a lot more difficult, right? A lot more difficult to decide what exactly we are going to target. So what I decided was to actually target this low. As we can see, we got filled. And then I noticed this move and we tapped into this order block. So I decided to actually do a scaling. I did a scaling as soon as we tapped into this. So let me just put that right next to it. And I chose to target the exact same stuff. So as we can see, we have 2.2 R in this trade and 3.5 R in this trade. So let us play price. So as you can see, we got filled here. And then I noticed that I should have saved my scaling and probably went for the one right here. Tapped into that and had a really clean rejection down. And then price was kind of meandering around. I was not really concerned about that. Just play price forward and the trade. And then right here somewhere, I was kind of concerned. And I made a decision that I should not have taken. We reached this level right here. And as you can see, this right here is a big fair value gap on the 1 hour. And I noticed that we were quite bullish. And this, of course, is liquidity. But we were coming to an hour where the volatility was kind of dying down. I saw price going down pretty slowly, not as explosive I would have wanted it to. So at that point I was thinking, okay, perhaps I should already start taking partials. So that's exactly what I did. So here is that end of that fair value gap. Right here. Oh. And as soon as we touch that, I took off 50% of my position. Just like that. So it was, let's see, it was 5.7 R that I could have gotten, and I took off half of it right here. And then I saw price doing some funky business. Till at the end, right here, I decided to close my full position. I closed fully right here. And that was a trade for me. You could have actually expanded target to those extreme lows. But to me, that's not really worth it. If you consider there are probably less stop losses right there, it could be that you tap into this. There is enough liquidity to fill orders and power and move back up, because if we look at the daily chart, we are in an extremely bullish environment, right? So this was kind of counter trend. So that's why I was a bit more careful with my entry and my exit. And as you can see, let's see if we tag it. I think we did. Yeah, there we go. We definitely tapped into that. You could have taken that. Yeah, this was a nice potential, let's call it weight. So that's 6 plus 1 in total. We have a 7R potential trade. I didn't actually make 7R today, but I've had quite a good couple of weeks. That's it. So yeah, that's a 7R trade. And if you were to risk 2%, which I usually do, this is 14% in the pocket, right? If you don't consider taking off 50% at this level. All right, that's it. That's the trade. I hope you found some value in this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I will try to get back to them as soon as possible. If you liked the video, make sure to press that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more of these types of trades and content related to these types of trades, these ICT concept trades, make sure to subscribe. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.